thanks for tuning in today. I'm back recording at my computer using my microphone because I actually have power now. So grateful. I've never been so grateful in my life to flick a switch and have it actually work. Oh my goodness. I mean, back to gratitude. We always take a lot of things we have for granted, but just the electricity far out. What an impact it had. And it's really nice to be back into my routine and have a productive daily because you have electricity now. You can. What I wanted to share with you, and this is kind of like a lazy episode, I just want to read out extracts from the most brilliant article I've read. I reckon this is one of my favorite articles I've ever read on the internet in my life. I don't know, it just hit so hard. It's by Tim Denning. I've actually been doing some work with Tim Denning. I've paid him for advice because his writing is so sharp and something I want to get better at. And you would have seen it. I'm writing my weekly articles. I'm just trying to get better at writing. Tim is so good at it. And so I'm just going to read this article, not a whole thing. I want to pull out extracts and maybe just commentate over the top of it. I was going to say Gogglebox over the top, which is funny because I saw one of the dads from Gogglebox down the Gold Coast yesterday while out scoping event spaces. So Tim's article is called, the title is a ripper. The title is The Number One Sign You're Winning in Life. No one understands what the hell you do for a living. And I was thinking about this because in Tim's article, he'll talk, so I'm just going to kick off and read a couple of snippets. And he says, the average person wants to be rich and famous. There's a better goal. Choose a life so far away from a typical career that no one understands what the hell you do for a living. The most successful people I've ever met live this way. They're unexplainable. They can't be summarized in a 30-second elevator pitch. There's nuance to their story. They have scars. They don't openly share everything. He writes, no one knows what I do for a living. My neighbors think I'm a drug dealer. They say I use my 2 Teslas to transport coke. They think this way because I'm always home. In the middle of the day, they'll see me on the porch drinking orange juice or playing in the backyard with my kiddo. Who the heck has a tea party with a 2-year-old at 10:26 a.m. on a Monday, they say. And he goes in there about all the other things that his neighbours speculate about. And it's the same. My neighbours across the road kind of know what I do, but the neighbours next door, they're lovely. We chat to them all the time, but they never have been quiet about what I do. And I wouldn't really know what to tell them. And this is what Tim actually says that. He goes, when I was actually a banker in my former life, people understood it. They know what a banker does. They likely know the bank I worked for. They can easily put me in a box. They can correctly label me. They can Google me and see my resume on LinkedIn. Not anymore. How the F would I explain to a normal person what I do for a living now? Writer? No. Influencer? No. Online business? No. Affiliate marketer? No. Workshop guy? Online education? YouTuber. What I do now for work is unexplainable. Even potential clients can get confused. Do you have a website that explains your business, what you sell, how much, etc.? Okay, so I'm just going to pause there from Tim's article. And that's exactly right. Really, I find it so hard to share with anyone what I do. It really depends. And sometimes it's speaking, but then I also write books. I have podcasts that I do every day. I do a lot of work with companies, but my gosh, the range of things that I do with companies it's out of control. I mean, I'm in control of it. I mean, I'm helping a retail company come up with their values. I'm working with another company on leadership development. I'm advising someone on stakeholder engagement and running a process, communications and video work with someone else, creating a private podcast for an organization, like just so many different things, 2-hour workshops for a membership community. In 1 week, there's so many different things that I do. So it's really just, I can't put myself into a box. And I used to really get down about that I didn't have this like really clear, compelling pitch that I could just share to someone in a sentence. They totally understood what I do and they would totally get what I do, but I just don't have that. And I was really disappointed. Even the other week, I actually had a friend, she messaged me about something. She's like, oh, by the way, like, I've been following your account, but I don't really know what you do. And I was like, damn it, like, how does she not know? But then I realized like just the variety of stuff that I post, what I'm working on, it is really difficult to box in. And so what I love about Tim's article is how he just says that is actually an offensive weapon. It's so good. And while it's a long article, this is what he ends on, the last part I'll quote. He wrote, the exact inability for someone to summarize your job at a glance is a strong sign. You're not doing something routine. You're doing something exceptional. You're winning in life. David Goggins says, society wants to make you soft. It wants you to fit in. The moment you stand out, you make people uncomfortable. So a terrific article. I think he's right. I think if you've got a job that you can put into a box and really clearly label, might be something that is open for disruption with the world of technology and AI. But if you do a variety of different things, you're kind of irreplaceable as well as being unexplainable. Something that I also wrote when I posted this story on Instagram was, I think sometimes people confuse that if you're unexplainable, then you're unreferable. I don't think that's the case. I mean, I can n equals 1, just my own life and career, people still refer me on to other people, even if they're not too sure what I do, but they might have had an experience. They might have seen me speak. They might have seen some ideas that I've shared, and they think, oh, this person should talk to, you should talk to Leanne, because I don't solve like clear, easy to solve problems. It's always like something I've got to work with the client on. We're in a partnership. So yeah, I know it sounds really loose. Consultant is like, it's such a mystery term as well. But I just wanted to share this article with you. I'll put a link to it in the show notes for this one. Very powerful. Love your work, Tim. And thanks for listening. I'll speak to you tomorrow.